are so much better when you warm them up. What is going on, guys? Welcome to another video. Bryan Blacio here. We are 14 weeks out now. I'm gonna warm up real quick, kind of guide you through what I do and why I do certain things. It's shoulder day. My lats are super tight from back day 2 days ago. Also my traps. So my upper back in general is just fried. So I really need to make sure I'm stretching and opening up before I go into my shoulders. Because if I don't, then my other, like my traps in particular, will start kicking in during like lateral raises. Or I just won't be able to really bring my shoulders back and down and get into position for a lot of the movements. So that's why I personally like to go ham with the foam rolling and just making sure I'm ready to go before the workout. Alright guys, so welcome to the commentary. Today is a pretty intense shoulder workout, if I do say so myself. After this, I was shot. But if you have any questions, put them down in the comments below. I'll get to you as fast as I can. If you want me to go into detail into something, I can always go over detail on a future video. So for now, let's get into the commentary. Today we're starting off with a face pull. I'm a big fan of starting every shoulder workout with some sort of rear delt exercise. The goal isn't to get tired, it's just to get some blood flow in there. Face pulls in particular, I'm a big fan of because it's not just rear delts. You're going through a full external rotation. So you don't want to treat this like an actual exercise. You kind of want to treat it like a stretch. You know, you just want to get some blood flow in there. Go light, 3 sets, 15 to 20 reps. Focus on holding it at the top for a second. Make sure that you're rotating externally. The reason why I'm sitting down is because that kind of keeps me from swinging and I'm in place. So a lot of the times when you do a face pull, you tend to kind of go backwards. And you're not really doing a face pull anymore, you kind of just do it more like a back extension. So that's why I'm sitting down, just making sure that I'm really focusing on opening up my shoulders, on making sure I'm getting a good mind to muscle connection so I can start hammering, you know, the next sets. So the concept is warm up what's behind you so you can really hammer down what's in front of you. You know, what's behind you is the stabilizers for all the lateral raises, all the presses. So if you're gonna go heavy, if you're gonna go hard, you want to make sure that you're safe and you want to get the most out of it by making sure that you have that kind of mind to muscle connection before you start your other movements. So up next we are switching over to the shoulder press. Also, I'm kind of just putting this clip in here because it's really important to find the right bench whenever you're doing a shoulder press with dumbbells. If you can see in this video, I'm shaking all over the place. I thought I was gonna die at one point. You probably can't see it, but in my head I was gonna die. Like I'm still warming up here, but it was just so uncomfortable and just kept shaking the entire time that I just had to move out of there. So after getting a better bench, we moved over to regular shoulder press. So in total we did about 2 or 3 warm-up sets. And again, you're not trying to get tired, you're just kind of feeling the weight, you're making sure that your shoulders aren't bothering you, that your technique is right, that you're keeping your shoulders back and down. In total we did 2 sets of 8 reps. You want to go heavy, and then on the last set we did a triple drop set. I believe I did about 10 reps if I'm not mistaken, more like 8 and then the last 2 partials, because the goal is to just do as many as you can. There's no set number here. So if you notice, I'm not going for a number, I'm going to failures. There's a difference. Failure doesn't necessarily mean as many reps as you can, it just means what's the maximum effort you can put out onto a movement. That involves a few things. That involves making sure that you're not getting hurt, that you're actually training your shoulders and not go out of place and start training your joints or putting more stress on your joints. So if you notice all the movements, there's certain areas like towards the end, the harder it gets, the slower I get. One, because that's just a safety mechanism to just kind of make sure that you're not getting hurt, and 2, you're making it harder. Like there's no reason to get to, like at one point I'm at like 32.5 pounds to, like on the last set, and that's because that's a fairly light set, and if I really wanted to push for like 25-30 reps, I think I could, but that would not really lead to muscle building. You're kind of just focusing on endurance at that point. Also, there's this dude right there. We were sharing the bench, so he was like trying to hype me up. Really cool dude. No idea what his name was, but he was nice enough to like work in with me, and I guess he was trying to hype me up, and I just couldn't hear him. I had my headphones on, and he just kept saying, "Let's go, let's go." I could see him kind of like on the side a little bit, so I knew he was trying to like give me some, like try to hype me up. He was just there. So I always appreciate people like that. For the next movement, we're switching over to the lateral raise with the cables. We're doing it one hand at a time, and the goal here is to get as much tension as you can. Really get that mind to muscle connection into the lateral head of the shoulder. We're pausing at the top for 2 seconds. We're doing 3 sets, 12 to 15 reps or so. I might do some partials here and there depending on how I feel, but that's, you know, that's up to you if you wanna take it that far. So for example, I'll really slow it down, but if I'm gassed out at 8 or 9, 10 reps, but the goal was 12 to 15, then I'll try to get to 15, but through partials. I'll try to minimize the swinging and just get to the 15. But you know, if you don't have the energy to go all the way up, if you try to, you may start kind of swinging. So that's where partials can really come into play. You should still have enough strength to kind of hold it at a certain point. You know, at that point it becomes more about willpower than it is actual strength. It's gonna be about how much pain can you handle and how high your pain tolerance is. Unfortunately, that's the name of this game. If you're trying to build any kind of muscle, you need to have some sort of high pain tolerance. So alright guys, so we are switching to a different variation. We're still doing lateral raises, we're still using the cables. This time around we're actually going to be using the dumbbells as well. And one of my favorite things of all time is the little cubs. So these cubs are the same ones that you would use on your ankle for kickbacks. They're relatively cheap, you can buy them for like 10 bucks on Amazon. This might be a little tricky to set up, and if you have the equipment, and if you don't, and that's fine too. You know, you can try to just stick with regular lateral raises. I'm just doing this because one is a good way to kind of add the tension from dumbbells and the cables. It's also really easy to do a drop set from here, so you know, it's just the best of both worlds. This right here, the current motivation. So I love listening to that during my workouts. Here we are switching into a front shoulder raise. So the goal here is 7 sets. So I'm a big fan of the FST7 by Henry Rambod. So it's 7 sets, 15 reps, about 45 seconds in between. So not much rest. Some flexing, some posing in between, some iso holds. So it's pretty intense. Weight should not be too heavy. You should be able to do all 15 reps the entire time, but it should also not be easy. They should not be easy at all. You should be struggling, and it should hurt. So yeah. Alright, so now we're moving on to the last exercise for today. We are doing rear delt flies with the machine, and I personally like to start with the rear delt and finish the shoulder day with the rear delt as well. So here we're gonna go a little light, but we're doing 4 sets of 20 reps, and we're gonna hold every rep for 3 seconds at the top. So yeah, the goal here isn't to go heavy. The goal here is to be able to actually control the movement and squeeze the rear delt. So the rear delt is a really small muscle. It's like just literally just like this little bit, right? So going too heavy is not going to let you isolate that too much. It's actually going to require you to use everything else that's on your upper back, and you know, then you're not really hitting the rear delt as well as you could. You know, this is what the workout was. So it's really just 5 exercises in total. A little update, we are currently 14 weeks out from the show. It hasn't really been any changes so far. Food is still the same, body's still changing slowly. So yeah, I believe in like 2 weeks or so we're going to like start changing things up. So I'll keep you guys updated. For now, I hope you guys enjoyed the workout. Like, subscribe if you want. It helps the channel grow, so it also helps with the algorithm. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll answer you there, or I'll put them in the next video if you want me to go into detail. So in the meantime, we'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.